Welcome back to some more Madden 26 franchise. Today we're going to be doing an updated version of our How to Draft the Perfect Fantasy Draft team guide, and there's been some changes. Now, you do have a couple of newer overalls going up and some devs going up, but in general, I feel like the AI drafts smarter than before. Maybe that's just completely wrong. Maybe it's just been so long since I did one of these and the players have just changed in overall, but I truly feel like the draft, a lot of the good players are gone by around 17-ish now. Used to be like 20, 25. Still, we're going to have a good one all the way through, probably about 25, 30 rounds. So buckle up. We'll have a spreadsheet in the description for, I call it a spreadsheet, a list of players that I think you should be looking at and when they go. Of course, my definition of a perfect fantasy draft team is probably going to be different than yours. So if you're looking for a truly overpowered one where we take the very best team possible, like Mahomes or Allen in the first round, that can be another video, maybe next week, or if you guys get on 250 likes, we'll do that as soon as possible. But my definition of perfect would be, a 70-ish overall quarterback I can develop, 70s, maybe low 80s running back, maybe one good wide receiver, but the rest are kind of development guys, maybe a decent O-line, maybe a good pass rusher, good DT, but a lot of guys I can develop, because in my opinion, personally, if I had, let's say, DK Metcalf and Patrick Mahomes, just those two players alone, I don't find the challenge, I don't find it fun. Literally, just those two players, I don't find it fun. And those are two single players, but those two guys, that combo, in my opinion, would just be too easy. Too easy. And of course, there's other ones where I could take, like, Myles Garrett and Greg Rousseau on the defensive side of the ball. That would be too OP as well. Just the pass rush would be just unbelievable. But regardless, if you guys end up enjoying this one, if this one helps you out, maybe subscribe it, leave a like. We'll have a video later today as well. And we'll have a kind of list of players in the description that you guys can look at to see maybe the players you would want instead of what we took. Either way, going to be aiming around the middle of the draft, so we'll be back with you when we get there. All right, we are actually going to be going with a little bit of a later pick 24. I think 25 is probably your perfect bet, but this is close enough. Of course, the big thing to be noting before we go into this is that obviously it's going to vary. Results may vary because no team is exactly alike. There is no team that is going to be drafting the exact same every single time because, well, it's going to be a different team every time in general. But the position itself even will change, as most of the time I had Lamar Jackson as the number 2 QB, but this one we have Mahomes. So on my list, I have Josh Allen 1, Lamar Jackson 2, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Mayfield, Goff, Dak, May, Love, Jalen Hurts, Surtain. I did have Stafford at 12 a lot, but obviously I'm not going to put him on the list. He's not worth taking. Did I say Justin Jefferson? Well, Justin Jefferson at 14 for me. Jamar Chase at 15, Myles Garrett at 16, Micah Parsons at 17, Gonzalez 18, Jaden Daniels 19, Nick Bosa at 20, Purdy at 21, Crosby at 22, Lamb at 23, Lawrence 24, Hutchinson at 25. He's going to be going 24 in this one because that's who we're going to be taking. And then McDuffie, Sauce Gardner, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nakua, Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, and Jalen Ramsey to finish out the first round. So with this one, maybe we'll talk about it each round for like the first 5 or 10 rounds, but after a while you're probably gonna have a little bit of a different team to me if you're not gonna go the same. If you wanted QB, I probably wouldn't have gone any further than 10 or 11. Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, those are your top 2 at that later spot, but personally, again, I like to develop QB. I'm kind of eyeing up JJ McCarthy because I think he's a guy that needs a bit of development, but he is also kind of a higher round QB. Like, I think you have to take him in the 4th. I don't know how I feel about that. Because you could also just wait a little bit. I think Dart, he goes decently late because he's normal dev, but he's definitely a guy you can develop, and he's still, like, good. But hell, even Dart's like a freaking 5th rounder, dude. They definitely changed some things, let me tell you. But yeah, JJ McCarthy, definitely a fun quarterback. Might be the guy we go with. We'll have to see. But yeah, let's say you had pick 24, exactly like we did. The only players that I would be taking at 24 would be Aiden Hutchinson, Will Anderson. Dexter Lawrence is not a bad name drop either. And then, maybe if he's there, sometimes he's gone, which he is here for us. But Max Crosby is at 22, CeeDee Lamb at 23. So, I don't know. I would definitely be going pass rusher in round 1, which is what we're going to be doing. Aiden Hutchinson, who has edge threat, 25 years old. I mean, he's great. He's very good. So, Aiden Hutchinson's going to be our first pick. And then now in round 2, we have pick number 9. The start of the second round would have been Sam Darnold at 1, Bo Nix at 2, Stroud at 3, Derek Brown at 4, Denzel Ward, Fred Warner, JSN, Nick Benito, and then TJ Watt might actually still be there, believe it or not, which is crazy to think, but let's see if he is. And for us, he is not. Greg Rousseau, obviously a very good option as well, but personally, again, I don't want to go too OP. Ironically enough, though, we will have a pretty solid defense, as I think I might be taking a little bit of a jump here. I mean, I'm thinking DT. I'm thinking Madden. You do have Derek Brown as well. I'm going to have to take a look at the abilities, but I know for a fact Madden has inside stuff, which is a very strong ability. Jalen Carter in game, though, not good abilities. Very good player, but just not very good abilities. So with that being said, I think if I'm going to DT, it is going to be Madden. And even though I do like Quinyon Mitchell with his abilities, I'm going to go Madden with that inside stuff ability. But more importantly, I got a fun one for our next round. And that's going to be us taking Travis Hunter, but playing him at cornerback. There's a lot of fun there. Not just that, but it is actually a very viable thing because he is one of the best catching corners in the game and change direction corners in the game if you put him there. So Travis Hunter is going to be playing full-time corner for us, which in fairness, you could just play him at corner and wide receiver, which it basically means you just drafted 2 guys. Now, this is where it's tough because if you want that quarterback option like J.J. McCarthy, this is when you need to take him. So I worry about that. But, some of the other options you could have went with is Quinyon Mitchell and then hoped that Quentin Williams would have been there in the last round. But I think he goes a bit earlier, like I think 17 or 18 in last round. So taking a risk there, trying to get that defensive tackle. This is, however, where I'd like to go for one wide receiver. I don't like to go for multiple, but this guy, dude, 97 speed at 6'3" is just absurd. Brian Thomas Jr. is my pick. There's some pretty damn good wide receivers here, but I just think pure value, pound for pound, he's worth it. And of course, I should have mentioned it, but if you don't take a quarterback by last round or mid this round, last round, you're pretty much going to be stuck with someone like Anthony Richardson, which, to be fair, you can wait a long time for Anthony Richardson. I personally just want to develop a quarterback. I don't want somebody to develop for me. I'm trying to think, like, Dart is probably your only guy in the first 5 rounds that needs true development. Like McCarthy, you put him in the starting spot, he's going to develop. But Dart, he is normal dev, so you never know. Whereas, Richardson, I've actually had some troubles developing him, especially in Sim. As a user, I don't think I'd worry too much, but yeah, that's, potentially could have gotten Cam Ward here, but also another one that results may vary. Teteroa and McMillan is around this spot, which you can see he's gone. And then I noticed we got very lucky. I would have expected him to go a couple of spots before this, but Joe Alt is still there. So obviously, with that being said, I want a superstar tackle, especially since, if I'm not mistaken, they have finally removed Fashionu's superstar dev, meaning he is no longer viable at that spot for the tackle position. And if we were still trying to do a most overpowered team, I probably would take Tariq Woolen. I know he has regressed hard here. His overall is not great, but even at 26, you get a +1 in training camp, focus him all year, you get him to 85, 86 overall. He's 6'4", 95 speed. Don't overthink it. But for me personally, we already have one corner. I can take a bunch of different corners later on. I don't think I'm going to be going for the cornerback position. And I'm actually really struggling here because I'm trying to find a position that isn't OP. Going for one of the 2 running backs that go right around now that are there. I mean, Achane and Kenneth Walker are they're too good. Like, they're just too good. If you really want a good running back, though, obviously this is not a bad spot to be taking them, but they're just so good. I don't really know if I'd have fun running the ball. Like, even with someone like Genty, at least, they're not the fastest. He's not the fastest guy in the world. So you're still going to have to, maneuver him around. It's basically Josh Jacobs, right? So you're going to have to definitely, like, develop him. Whereas these guys, I mean, they're fast as hell. They're young as hell. They're superstar, So I guess with that being said, we're going to jump a little bit here and take Tyler Smith. Might be going for a lineman next round as well. Just trying to, grab some players that can help build up the team, but still have the skill positions be relatively developable. Sucks the Linderbaum's gone. We've got other options, though, if we want O-line again. But I will say, even though this is kind of like against my rules of, I want somebody developable that's not already kind of there. Jahad Campbell is kind of already there. Really good change of direction. I need him. I just need him. Now, one thing I wish I knew is I wish I knew if Membu was superstar or not. That's great. I'm going to take another lineman. Zach Frazier. I really like the value there. 85 overall. Don't want to go too hard on the O-line. We've got 3 already. So if we end up with like 2 normals to go along with them, I'm A-okay with that if it had to be. But we'll still keep an eye out on those players. Now here, again, we're talking about, did we get the luck of the draw? One, you still have Breece Hall, so even at star dev, great player, don't need to worry about it. But is Genty still there? Unfortunately, is not. Now, there's another one I want to see if he's still there or not. And he is unfortunately gone as well. So the two players I was looking at were Genty and Matthew Golden. They go around the 20 to 22 range. And as you can see here, they did go. Can I see, actually? I hate when this bugs out. Nope, I can't see. Great. So if you wanted to, best value for sure right now is Breece Hall. There's not even a question about it. But personally, I'd rather go with like a Judkins later on, Scadaboo, Omarion Hampton. Who else do we have? Pacheco even. I don't love the age anymore, but could use Pacheco. You have freaking Benson, Tootin. Where's Dylan Sampson? I mean, you have freaking Crossy Merritt if you really wanted, but Dylan Sampson, obviously, he's like 20 years old. I mean, like, tell me you can't develop this into a star, because I think you can. I guess he's already a star, but you know what I mean. But I guess with that being said, let's pair up Jahad Campbell with basically another Jahad Campbell, Edgerrin Cooper, who is, admittedly, as a Packers fan, a little disappointed me. You know, those tackles, he's been missing them. And I know it seems like a little bit, not even like a reach, but it's like, well, that guy's kind of old. I'm going to be taking Spencer Brown here. He's around 11, like right at the beginning of round of 11. And at 27 years old, I can live with it, right? I wish his pass block finesse was higher, definitely, but the speed, the size, cool dude in real life, it seems like. As you know, as far as lineman goes, always has some funny moments. So, what a guy. That's going to be our pick here in round 11. Again, it's a little peculiar. We're not used to drafting the way we are right now. Like, sure, there's a couple of ones that we usually draft. You know, we usually get a good edge. We usually get a decent wide receiver, and then we go with O-line quite a bit. But this, you know, linebacker, higher than usual. You know, I like this, though, because, again, so far, of the players we drafted, at least on offense, I still need a QB. I still need a running back, which I love to see because I want to develop someone low overall. And then wide receiver, I'm moving Travis Hunter to corner. I know we got the two Jaguars here. So I only have one wide receiver, and I have no tight end. And then I have an offensive line so far that can block pretty damn well for us. So we'll have time to throw for a quarterback. We'll have lanes to run for a running back. And we can just kind of choose any unknown guy to use and develop ourselves. Again, this is the way I love to draft and develop. And even though we could go with a different running back later on, I think we've waited long enough. I want a guy that you can develop multiple ways. His catching is solid. His juke move's solid. His carrying, he's not fumbling. He's got good enough speed. Trucking's good. Change direction's good enough. Quinshon Judkins. Still doesn't mean we can't take another running back later, though. And then, surprisingly, I'm going to finish our offensive lineup. J.C. Latham I really like as our guard, so that's going to be who we take. Big fella. Perfect fit as a guard, in my opinion. And then this is where we take a guy that is insanely fun to use, right? Nicky Manwari. There you go. That's our next pick. And then after this, it's tough because Kyle Pitts is sitting there, right? It's tough to pass on someone. I think he makes the team too OP. But Kyle Pitts is sitting there, and he's fun. So, even when we're trying not to be an OP team, outside of QB, we're kind of strong. If you did want to wait, though, you could have gotten Colston Loveland in 16. It's just 2 rounds later, you're getting a guy that's way slower. I don't know. And Trevin Wallace is actually a guy that goes a bit higher these days. So, if you wanted a linebacker, you can definitely wait. But I just like Trevin Wallace, so I'm going to take Trevin Wallace. And then if you wanted super value, Bobby Wagner goes in round 17. Crazy value, right? 92 overall. But personally, again, I'm trying to develop for the future, not trying to win right now. The next pick for me would be the very strong Caleb Ransaw. 95 speed at really any position is going to be very good. So there you go. And then if you didn't go with that wide receiver option earlier, I think Colson Leveland would have been gone by now, right? He is. But you also do have Darnell Washington, who's obviously insanely fun. Wish they would just give him the notch, man. Just give him star dev, bump the stiff arm and trucking up, and this guy shoots up the board for me, you know? So please just do that. I don't ask for much. But now it is time for our second defensive tackle, Derek Harmon. DTs, they kind of last pretty long, so if you even want to go with a, you know, top 5 rounder like we did with Matabike, you know, you're going to have to wait a while to take another one unless you're willing to lose some value. And honestly, I have extra draft picks, so I'm just going to take Tyleik Williams to be our nose tackle. So we are set at the DT spot. And again, I don't know what it is with Terrion Arnold. He goes anywhere from like 12 to like 20. I don't know why he's still here. And again, I don't know if he's where he's going to be for you, Terry Arnold-wise, so I'm going to reach a little bit and take Jahdae Barron as our corner 2. Not a huge fan that he's 23. Not a huge fan that he's not taller than 5'11", but I think the average corner technically is 5'11"-ish, so, dude, I don't know. Maybe Terry Arnold's going to be there for you as well. Just draft him, I guess. Just take him. If not, take Darian Porter, the 6'3" cornerback. He is 24, sadly, but take him anyways. And now this is the running back for your backup. Cam Scatterbo, Amarian Hampton, I think even Tootin all go around this spot. Personally, I think Tootin's probably the best bet because obviously he's insanely fast, and we already have Judkins, he's already kind of power movie enough on his own. Obviously, you get the crazy trucking from Scatterbo. I still have no idea how to truck in this game. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. Every single time they're reaching forward, I literally flick the analog stick. It's not a truck. It's the reach forward and die move. Of course, Judkins kind of gives you a little bit of best of both worlds. I don't think you need a power back with Judkins. So with that being said, is Tootin right around here, or does he go a little bit later? I'm pretty sure he goes around here, though. He does. So take one of those 3 running backs, whether that's your starter or your backup. As much as Scatterbo is fun, Tootin is going to be a little more fun for me. Probably, honestly, not even fun, but OP. A little bit early on those picks. Like, I think you're still going to have a chance at Scatterbo and them, but again, I don't know if they're going to always go at the same time. I'm going to reach a little bit, make sure I get my guy. And now time for another wide receiver. I'm really hoping I get a chance to actually use Jaden Higgins at some point this year. Looks like a guy that could be really fun to develop into the, that Mike Evans type, Tyrone McMillan type. And then I'm a little surprised Jack Besh is still here. If he's not, I would just go with someone like Jalen Lane. Personally, I might even still go with someone like Jalen Lane. I know you have the dev, but I need someone with a little bit of speed underneath. And I think Jalen Lane, even though he's 23, is that speed. I mean, you could probably get both. I can't remember when the hell. You know what? We're going to sell here. We're gonna miss out on QB. Let's just make sure that we don't get something crazy happening. Let's land Anthony Richardson. You got yourself if your user should be franchise quarterback. And of course, Besh is gone. You definitely could have taken Besh and then, Anthony Richardson. But let's just not risk it. I got options at wide receiver. I'm not worried about it. I could take slow Pat Bryant. I mean, he's not even really that slow, to be honest. He could fit in the slot easily. And okay, Dylan Sampson's still there. We'll take a 3rd running back. Why the hell not? And I think for edge, you could get James Pierce around here. But for me, I'm going to be going with Dallas Turner. I love that, very raw, but Micah Parsons potential build. And then, of course, still really, really good value. Princely Umanmielen to be your backup across the board. And then now you got wide receiver. It kind of depends on what you want. Like an Isaiah Bond, even though he's normal dev, is super fun in the slot as well. Kind of a smaller guy. Very speedy, though. Or you can go with, a little bit bigger of a guy. Maybe a Cooper Kupp type wide receiver 3, and Pat Bryant, who is actually hidden development trait. Who else do you have? You have this fella, who I always mess up his name, who's really perfect for the slot. I'd probably end up leaning Pat Bryant. Dude, I don't know if I'd go Pat Bryant. 89 speed is... You have a 80 Mitchell. It's a tough one, because you get the dev of Bryant, but you don't get as much talent. You get the speed of AO. So... What do you do there? You have Savion, who's, I believe, still hidden dev in the game, but yeah, 23, so you're pushing it a little bit. I think you take Io Manor. Io Manor is going to be the guy. It's tough because he's got a little bit of injury concerns, but he's the cleanest, I think. But I suppose you could take Pat Bryant as well if you really wanted to, because he's still there. Now, if you wanted the best kicker possible, you're going to have to take him now, which, of course, is Brandon Aubrey. He is 30 years old, but should last at least 4 to 5 seasons. Most people aren't playing more than 5 seasons most of the time. So I suppose if you want your very best kicker, Brandon Aubrey is the move. And then if you want best fullback, you kind of needed to start a little bit sooner than this. Personally, though, I think Gilliam's the best fullback anyways, because he's fast. He's 28, so you're going to get him a little bit longer than Juszczyk or Ricard. And then I still don't know why he's superstar dev. He's only a 73 overall, but Stonehouse is still arguably the best punter in the game. Fast, great kick power, superstar dev. Accuracy's not even that bad. But at that point, yeah, I mean, we've technically drafted every position outside of long snapper, which I really don't care about. So, at this point, take your backup QBs, your Jalen Milroe, your backup tight ends. You could still go Musgrave, but I mean Arroyo, someone a little new. Backup linebacker, you can go with like DeJuan Jones, a big dude. He's kind of fun to use. Why not? Go with maybe someone else that's a little bit higher overall, like Shaq Mason, good backup. Suppose we didn't do a great job of getting backup linemen, but, Mondon, he's young. He's usable. He's definitely usable. Safety, there's always just unlimited players waiting around. Kevin Winston Jr.'s hidden development trait, so there you go. You know, Siegel's a good option, 23 years old, super speedy. Then obviously can't forget Dante Thornton, this speedy 6'5" hidden development trait wide receiver. But I mean, at that point, you pretty much have everything set, right? You have 2 QBs, 3 running backs, a fullback. Actually, we could use one more wide receiver because Travis Hunter's going to be our corner. Tight ends are good. O-line, maybe another depth guy. Edge, you got 3. DT's got 3. Linebacker, you got 4. Corners, you can use another one. We only have 3. But, I mean, again, corner is one of the most abundant positions you're going to get here. So, I mean, Billy Bowman, who's kind of sort of a safety, if you wanted to put him there. You know, cornerback, boom. Need another cornerback. Let's find another one. Wally's always been kind of decent, so there you go. Then if you really want a long snapper, 26-year-old Ward, sure, why not? But at that point, you know, we are drafting positions that are just never going to see the field. I can't remember if Russell Wilson has the mentor tag or not. Russell Wilson's fun either way, so we'll bring in Russell Wilson, why not? You would think he would, right? 6'8" Donald Parham's kind of cool. He's 28 now, but he's not a bad number 3. Can't forget the big fella Manu. But I mean, even at this point, you still have edge rushers, right? Like Colin Oliver. He's super fast. You could definitely develop him still. But yeah, that's pretty much the draft. We actually almost filled. I might as well do the whole draft. Like, this is kind of crazy. Cordero Patterson. Kind of a fun kick returner, right? Wangwu actually is pretty good too. Don't think he has that elusiveness in game, though. Yeah, they gave him, like, basically nothing. Just straight line running. I guess take Isaiah Bond as your kick returner. All right, here is the team. I don't know if it's actually an 82 overall or not, but it's not bad, actually, if it is. The offense is pretty good, right? Like, you could argue, you know, maybe you need a new wide receiver 2/3, maybe a new tight end, maybe a new running back, but I'd feel pretty good about those guys. And then you could argue you need a QB. But I do like the offensive line, obviously. It's amazing. And then defensively, we got a lot going on here, too, right? Like, our D-line's completely set. Corners, Travis Hunter, full-time corner here, 83 overall. Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Of course, with his ability, which I don't even know if he actually has it right now, but that Iron Man ability, I think it's called, he could play wide receiver and corner full-time. No fatigue negatives for that, but I think it's a little more realistic if he plays one position full-time. You could put him at wide receiver for gadget, so he's our gadget wide receiver. But yeah, this team looks really solid. Will it be a winner right away? I don't know. We're going to have Green Bay's offense, Buffalo defense. I think that's about as balanced as you can get in Sim. We're going to keep the XP sliders on base. We are going to do our training camp, and we are going to see what happens. Well, let's take a look at what the contracts look like. We're not having a great start to the season, but, you know, guys like Kyle Pitts, he's down. 5-year deal. This is, I mean, theft. $10 million per year for a 90-speed 6'6" tight end. Yeah, sounds good to me. You do have some backup issue. Oh, dude, no way. No way. Okay, that's just not fair. That's just not even fair. That is just illegal behavior. Of course, a couple of the backups going, but, I mean, for the most part, I'm not too worried about it. Year 1, looking good. Tyler Smith, of course, not super interested in the re-sign just yet. Maybe you wait until the team actually starts making the playoffs. I don't know. Perhaps. But you also don't want to let these guys develop too quickly. Like Travis at Superstar, with base sliders, mind you, is already, you know, an 86 overall. So you got to be careful. So I don't know if the team is going to make the playoffs or not, but this is a good year. 8-9, that's where I'd want this team to be. You know, with the user's input, the user skill, you could easily push two extra wins, right? 10-7, that's playoffs. It's so funny, though. I did see someone comment talking about, like, the Panthers and our Panthers franchise, like, both teams are the same overall. So unrealistic. Do you think a human playing the game should not be better than the AI? Like, do you think as a human I shouldn't be able to bridge the gap? Like, if we're in an 88 overall team, the other team's an 88 overall team, should it be a tie? Should the game end up in double, triple overtime and never ending? I should be playing that Super Bowl to this day because we're the same overall? I'm confused. I don't know. Either way, let's take a look at the win-loss. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, personally, I think a user should be able to bridge a gap of at least 10 overalls. Honestly. Like, especially if you play it full cheese, drags, inside zone, short plays. You really should be able to at least 5 overalls, maybe even 10. Like, a good user can overcome all. Wow. Brian Thomas Jr., I mean, that is one of the most impressive seasons I've ever seen. 998 yards with 0 touchdowns. I imagine that's an NFL record, right? That's got to be. I actually want to look this up. I don't even know if that's something that's tracked, right? That's insane. Of course, pass rush was garbage. The fact that Dallas Turner has the same sacks as Hutchinson is stupid, but same with the DTs, Harmon and Matabike. But, yeah, the team, I mean, had a pretty good year, I think. Aubrey finally looking good. Usually in Sim, he struggles for me. Stonehouse, pretty good punts per average. But, yeah, this, again, I like this, you know, middle-of-the-pack type of team. You can develop this team to get past that middle of the pack. Your user skill probably gets you over that edge as well. This is the type of team I like. Oh, look at them. They got offensive and defensive player of the year. We got rookie of the year on offense. And, yeah, I really like this team. It's actually one of my favorite teams we've built in a while. Let's actually go to the end of the season, see what those overalls look like. Again, I do have the XP sliders on base just because I don't really need to change them, and I kind of feel like you maybe get an idea if you draft the team we just drafted, what you might be looking at. I don't really care about who wins the Super Bowl. I just want to see our dev-ups, if any. Offensively, I don't think Richardson would have went up, but yeah, I mean, even without our user touch, no dev-up, he's an 80 overall, you know? So if you actually user him, you actually develop him well, you should be able to develop him, right? You should be able to get that going. Higgins, also 83 overall, now superstar development trait. You can get speed upgrades, so you know, you might get 1 or 2, maybe get him to 90, 91. Your slot receiver, 79. Pitts, 82. I will say he did go from 78 to 80 with training camp, so not a great season of XP, but still 82 overall at 25 is fine. He's getting to that point where soon you maybe don't want to draft him anymore. Again, you do need to upgrade your O-line slider. This is the one slider I'd recommend you absolutely upgrade every time and update O-line sliders. We got like 1 or 2 upgrades across the board. That's pretty bad. Defensively, Adrian Cooper goes to superstar. Wallace goes to star. I don't think anyone else changed around here, though. That's it. But team looks good. I mean, Dallas Turner, I'm a little surprised he didn't go up a little higher with 9 sacks. But, yeah, the team is well on its way to developing. You know, a couple of years from down the line, maybe you're the Super Bowl favorites. But it's going to still be a couple of years. And, yeah, that is my definition of how to draft the perfect fantasy draft team here on Madden 26 with the most recent updated rosters as of, I believe, Thursday. I think that's the most recent we're going to see. So, yeah, if you guys ended up enjoying this, you found it helpful, you just enjoyed it all, I don't know. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff on the channel. Hit the bell notification also, you know when the next upload is up, which there should be Packers franchise a little later today, and a rebuild tomorrow. Second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. Recently, not even recently, well, I guess it is recently, reacted to the Hellraiser gameplay trailer. Quite a bit of nudity and murder and gore and stuff. It's kind of wild. If that video is even still up, might have been freaking taken down by now. Who knows? Definitely want to finish Borderlands. Got some other games that I want to get into. And that is about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. And again, 250 likes and we'll do the most overpowered version. Even though I think this team's still really strong anyways. But until next video,